It is TO Sports Talk, episode 18, coming at you live. I mean, same normal time. Normal time, normal place. It's good to be doing it at the normal time. It's nice.
For once.
Yeah, you got that right. I'm James Price, your host, along with Evan Brown. How's it going, buddy?
It's going good. It's going good, man.
Nice Tuesday afternoon. It's nice out.
Yeah.
And
both drafts happened, so we're definitely going to talk about that. But first of all, Leafs, we're going to break through the draft picks. Rasmus Sandin, we're going to be talking about him a little bit. But also, so Leafs drafting, we're going to be talking about that. And also the John Tavares sweepstakes. What can we learn from what just happened? Because the Leafs already did their pitch. Right, so we're going to be talking about that for the Leafs.
And for the Blue Jays, I mean, they've won 3 straight. They've won back-to-back against the Angels to split that, which I was shocked to all heck. And they win the first game against the Astros. I don't think a lot of people expected that. We'll break that down and kind of see what's going on with that team and why are they winning some games as of late. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
And for the Raptors, not making a move in the draft, I think we were all surprised about that. I sure was, not even getting a second. So we're going to be breaking down what that means to the team and for Masai Ujiri and Webster. We're going to be breaking that down too, how disappointed we are.
All right, and so that means we're starting off with the Leafs. I mean, we got to start with these guys after the big draft. That they had on Friday night.
Now, talking about the draft, I'm not going to be specifically talking about... actually, you know what? Let's quickly talk about the Leafs here. Rasmus Sandin goes 29th overall to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Left-handed shot out of the Sioux Greyhounds. Obviously, Kyle Dubas knows of him because I think... I don't know if he was part of the organization when he was... I don't think so.
I don't know if he was, but nonetheless...
But obviously, Kyle Dubas is familiar with the team, probably with him too. Now, would have loved to see Joe Veleno go to the Leafs. He was there at 29.
And he went right after the Leafs
to a division rival.
Right.
So that's nothing that we would hope for. But that being said, he drafted by positional need, in my opinion, and possibly the best player available because Rasmus Sandin was supposed to go 17th. A lot of people had him going 17th, 25th, but not as low as 29th. So
I think that's the reason why he jumped all over him.
Right.
I mean, he just had a great year. His first year with
first
the
year started with Rogel. Now, if that name sounds familiar,
he only played 5 games. But
now, if that name sounds familiar, Timothy Liljegren actually played in Rogel, so I don't know if they played together or not, but that is the same team. He played 5 games, 1 assist, and then transferred over to the Sioux Greyhounds, and in 51 games, 12 goals, 33 assists for 45 points.
And a plus 35.
At 18 years old. Now, he does have a later birthday, March.
But he does have 2 more years left of junior. So he's got some wiggle room when it comes to him.
Well, actually, since he is European, he could transfer over to the Marlies. He doesn't have that stupid thing about... So he can transition to the Leafs, the Marlies at any age. So he doesn't have to be 20 years old to make the Marlies. Or right at a camp for the Leafs. So that is a plus with drafting Europeans. I don't know how that works, though, since he is with the Sioux Greyhounds. Not too sure, but...
I think maybe because he entered his draft year in Sweden. That might have been it.
Yeah, because this is his second draft year. He could have been drafted last year, but
no, I don't think so. Because this.
Oh, he has a late
March. March he turned 18.
Right.
So I mean, I'm
he's not an overager too.
The thing about this guy, and the reason I like him so well, is because not only does he have the great offensive upside, he's a smart defender, and that's something that with a great offensive upside, you're kind of iffy about.
Right.
That's why we all love Travis Dermott. He's got that upside offensively, great-looking offensive player, but he's smart. He knows when to make the right moves at the right times. Like we've always said, a smarter Jake Gardiner. That's really what he is.
Right. I mean...
Offensive upside, maybe not as much, but with those risks being taken...
I think this is the first time he's been in the O, and he already has 45 points in 51 games.
And he has 12 goals. You know,
he's a plus. I mean, plus minus doesn't really mean
because that team has set a historic pace. So that's that. And he had 13 points in 24 games in the playoffs.
I love this pick.
I love it. I absolutely love this pick.
Now,
another Swedish defenseman. We seem to love that with obviously Timothy Liljegren last year. Right. I don't know. I really enjoy. And the thing I look about this draft, we talked about needing a center, and we talked about needing defense.
Right.
Through the first 5 rounds, all we saw was defense and centers.
And that's drafting by positional need.
And I thought it was I thought it was almost the best player available as well.
Right.
You could arguably say about Joe Veleno, but what we have is what we have.
Right. And I think that we need definitely more defensemen than centers. We do need both positions. But as a defenseman, yes, he's a left shot. Obviously, we have Morgan Riley, Jake Gardner, Travis Dermott, and now this guy.
And the crazy thing is about that first-round pick, a lot of people are probably thinking, if you didn't watch the draft, you didn't really look at it or anything, well, the Leafs had the 25th overall pick. Well, and they got the 29th. What happened? Well, the Leafs traded down 4 picks to get the 76th overall pick, the third-round pick from the St. Louis Blues.
I'm surprised it wasn't a second. I was a little bit, I'm like, why wouldn't that be
You know what? I guess because it's only 4 spots. It's not like you went down.
Well, you saw what Ottawa did with, I think, the Rangers. Ottawa and the Rangers made a deal for the 21st pick for the 26th pick, and they got a second. So that's why I'm saying I'm a little bit, but still, a third's better than nothing.
You got another, first to third round pick
and
for having 4 spots, and I think they got the guy they wanted to.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I mean, I'm not going to complain about that at all.
No.
So second round, Sean Dursey. I think it's Dursey actually. Defenseman for the Owen Sound Attack. I love this. I love this as well. Again,
another defenseman, right-handed.
Right-handed, and I think that's a lot of what Leaf fans looked at. Now he's a little bit older. He's 19. He's going to turn 20 in October.
So he's an overager.
Right. So either he'll play with the Marlies.
Right.
Either he'll play with the Marlies or he'll go with be as an overager with the Owen Sound Attack.
3 years with the Owen Sound Attack.
Right.
So he has one more year there. And
he's progressively gotten better each and every year. 16 points in his rookie year, 38. And this past year, 49 points in 40 games with
obviously
15
with
injuries.
He only played 40 games with injury, but he was over a point per game as a defenseman, right-handed shot.
Plus 19 as well.
Right. Not big guy. Neither Sandin or Dursey, not two big guys. I think Dursey's 6 foot?
Yeah, he's not a big guy.
6 foot, but 195. So he could be ready.
He's a hefty guy.
He's a hefty guy
for his size. And then you look at his playoff stats. He had 16 points in 11 games. So he was a playoff performer as well.
The thing is about Rasmus Sandin, I don't think we've went through this, but I'm not too certain on his size. We already have a lot of puck-moving defensemen.
Right.
In the light, because I would consider, Travis Dermott, yes, he's a puck-moving defenseman, but he is a bigger guy. He's a hefty guy, too. Jake Gardner, puck-moving defenseman. Morgan Riley, obviously. So we don't have that big left-handed shot we necessarily need.
Now, again, these guys might never make the team. You know what I mean? It's a draft. You never really know what you're going to get.
Hope the first-rounder makes the team.
Well, Sandin should, yes. But what I'm saying is, the fact that size, yes, it does matter, and I agree. But size usually means slower for most guys, at least. And you look at the Washington Capitals, you look at these big teams, these good teams that made it far. Washington, Brooks Orpik, is he really big? I wouldn't say he's really, really big. Niskanen, now probably about mid-size. Orlov, same deal. Carlson's big, but he doesn't use his body. So
see, I don't think it's really necessarily about size. I think it's about skating.
Physicality. It's about size and how they use their body.
Right, and then big guys being maybe they could be not that great skaters, and that's usually but you have a guy like Evan Bouchard who, his skating's okay, but he's really, really big guys, right? So, he's NHL ready, but his skating's a bit iffy. So, with a smaller guy like Dursey and Sandin, their skating is going to be good. It's just their size, not really necessarily their weight, because everybody gets heftier, right? Builds muscle. It's mainly their size. 5'11", it's not tiny, but it's not massive. It's a little less than average, in my opinion.
Because whenever you're talking to the coach, whenever you're talking to Babcock, Shanahan, after they draft a guy, they say the same thing every time. Well, they just got to get bigger and they got to get stronger.
And they will.
And that's what they're going to do.
Because these guys are kids. Absolutely. At this point, growing-wise, I don't think that they're going to grow much taller than they actually are. But weight, yes, they are going to be putting on weight.
You look at a guy like, you could throw Zach Hyman into the mix. He's not a big guy, but man, does he play hard.
Anthony Liljegren.
Yeah.
He looks like he gained about 10-15 pounds from the Marlies Calder Cup run. And that's what he needs.
Yeah, because I'm talking about guys who play physical, like Dermott. Like he doesn't get phased by a big guy.
Well, no, he's a physical guy,
right? But he's not a big guy. So you look at that kind of thing, and you're like, well, you know what? Size does matter, yes. But if you can, you can't coach size. You can't coach skating. Skating is ability you have. If you're fast, you're fast. If you're slow, like Roman Polak, no way he's going to be flying like Austin Matthews next year if he trains it. There's no way.
No, I agree.
So that's why you look at a guy like Dursey, you look at a guy like, Rasmus Sandin, they're quick, right off the bat. So they can develop their shot, they can develop their defense. That can happen. over time. And that's why these two picks, I am loving it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, again, I would love, because I was watching the draft, and I was really hoping for in the second round to get Akil Thomas, center out of... I don't even know.
It was Niagara.
Niagara Ice Dogs, right? So, and then the LA Kings, I'm like, okay, it went LA Kings and then us. And I'm like, okay, LA, please just do not pick Akil Thomas. And of course they do. I think if Akil Thomas was on the board, when I think that we would have drafted him.
I think so. Right. But I'm not.
No,
I love the looks of Sean Dursey.
Now try pronouncing the name of our third round pick.
So I tried this. I looked it up. Semyon Durgachintsev. I looked it up. I tried to listen to some. I mean, I thought I did all right. Plays for the Peterborough Petes.
No, this guy is
the youngest guy in the draft.
Yes. Now he is 5'8", 5'9", very small center. Which smallish centers, I'm not too sure about. I mean, small wingers are different, but because you see them a lot around the league. Small, you see Johnny Gaudreau. You see Jonathan Marchessault. But not a lot of small centers. Now, can this guy convert to wing? Possibly. But right now, we drafted him as a center.
He's 5'10", 159. Not a big guy at all.
I thought he was actually... but again, he's 17. He's turning 18 in September. So he is the youngest guy in the draft. And his points speak for themselves for the Peterborough Petes.
It is 2016-2017, his first year with the Petes. He had 29 points in 63 games. Year 2, he played 5 more games, but he had 51 points in 68 games.
Only 12 goals, though, but for a center, they're not really goal scorers. Mainly the wingers are. So
and he had a better year than the year before. Right. And he 8 points in 12 games in his playoff run last year.
Last year.
So he had a better year than the year before. Progression. That's all I'm at. That's fine by me.
Now, at this point in the draft, Leaf fans are like, oh, well, we see kind of a little bit of a pattern going on here with Dubas and drafting smaller players rather than bigger. Because last draft, you look at last draft here, let me just go back to last draft. You have, Rasanen was a 6'7" defenseman, right-handed shot out of Kingston. Didn't have a good season last year. He obviously is going into the KHL. The Jokerit, he just signed a contract.
That's very good. I'm glad he's going
exactly.
out there.
Ian Scott, whatever. Vladislav Kara.
He's the left wing, sorry. 6'2", though.
6'2".
Fedor Gordeev, he's
another
a big guy.
That's probably going back into the draft, or we're probably not going to sign him. 6'6" at 211. Another big guy. McGregor and O'Connell, no. But even in the 2016 draft, Igor Korshkov, another big center out of the KHL, 21 years old, still hasn't signed with us. 6'4". I mean, is he really going to become anything? We don't know. And
it's hard to tell right now.
Grundstrom obviously was a steal. And then you have Keith Middleton was a 4th rounder that's going back in the draft. Is that really... I mean, that's kind of a waste of a 4th rounder.
Big-size guys.
It's not working.
That can't skate. They're not really going anywhere.
Especially defensemen.
That's why probably Dubas is seeing this kind of this pattern. So he's like, well, then what's the point in drafting these big guys? There's really no point at this point.
And right now the game is all about speed. Smaller guys, they're all about speed. So
for sure. So that's one of the 3rd round picks.
And a second one that we got.
And by the way, the youngest player in the draft, Durgachintsev, was the 3rd round pick we acquired from the St. Louis Blues.
Okay, so this is going to be our next.
This is our pick. Riley Stotts, the center.
Another center.
So back-to-back centers in the 3rd round from the Calgary Hitmen. And, he's 18 years old in January, so start of next year. He'll still be 18.
6 foot. But
he played with the Swift Current Broncos in his rookie year, only had 16 points in 52 games, injured in the second year, 3 points in 22. And then this year with the breakout season, 47 games, 41 points with 17 goals, 24 assists.
See, this pick I'm not too sold of. I do not like this pick.
Because he was not great in his first 2. Now, it could have been just a change of scenery for him to Calgary, but, I mean, it's hard to say, really.
No.
You don't really know what you're going to get with Swift Current.
He is only 168, so
he's 6 foot at 168 pounds.
That's not...
No, it's not good at all.
No. So this is the first pick where I'm like, kind of off the board a little bit, but we have 2/3, so you can go off the board with another 3rd round pick, but I don't really like this pick. But he could prove me wrong. Riley Stotts could be our 2nd line center for the future. I don't know.
But anyways, you can never go. You never draft too many centers. Mac Hollowell, I think that's how you pronounce his name. The 4th round pick for the Leafs. Again, small guy, only 5'9". He's 19 years old.
Right shot.
Right, again, another right shot defenseman.
Which is good.
So he's going to be an overager if he goes back to the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. Another guy from the Sioux. In his rookie year, he had 6 points in 11 games.
That's good.
In 2015-2016, 21 points in 58 games, 23 in 63 in 2016-2017, and this past year, breakout season, 56 points in 63 games,
he is an
12 goals. He's going to be an overager this year. And he was a plus 39 with 16 points in 24 games in the playoffs.
Now, once you get past the third round, I feel like in the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, well, yes, it is. But I think at that point, you take best available player. I'm not sure if this guy was the best available player.
He had a great last season. That's really what it was. He had a great year last year.
Kind of same thing with Riley Stotts.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. But I mean, he was okay. Like, he's not. No, I really believe that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to believe. He's a small guy. Again, him and Riley Stotts, not the biggest guys out there. I don't know. In later
hit or
rounds,
miss,
it's hard to tell.
I don't like Stotts or Holwell. I don't really. But that's just my opinion.
Krall, the 5th round pick, the defenseman. Again,
6'1".
He's been playing in the Czech League for the past 2 years, but then came over to the Spokane Chiefs in the WHL just this past season. Playing in the Czech League, didn't really do a whole lot. Played 23 games in 2016-2017.
Right?
4 games, got no points in 2017-2018. But then after those 4 games, he goes to the WHL to play for Spokane. And 35 points in 54 games. He was a plus 9 and didn't get any points in the playoffs.
Now, this pick I like better than the previous 2 picks. Now, this guy's a left shot, but he is the biggest guy we've drafted so far.
6'1", 171.
Not bad, but for a 5th round pick, I do like this selection.
He's 18 and he'll turn 19 when the season begins. So he'll still have another year left of him in Spokane.
He could go back to the Czech League.
Yeah,
you never know.
I don't know what's
going to
happen. I mean, I'm not sure what his deal is.
Thumbs up for this pick, for sure.
I'm okay with this. You know, again, he's still...
He's 18, he's not 19.
It's tough to say really right now when it comes to this guy. You know, his points are a little bit... It's all right. I mean, he's a defenseman and he had 35 points, so I'm not going to complain about that.
Right.
But he is, 18, going to be 19 at start of next year.
So this guy could pull off the same thing as Rasmus Sandin, where if he can jump right to the Marlies, I would imagine. So we could see that happen with Philip Powell.
The Marlies are going to get a little crowded here.
Yeah. Well, we're not the Marlies crowded.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very true. 6th round pick, Pontus Holmberg.
By the way, best name that we drafted so far.
Oh, I love it. Left winger, so another winger.
19.
He's already 19 mid-season, so he'll be 19 to start the next year. Played in the Swedish Hockey League, only played 2 games. There's really not much book on him. I don't really know anything about him.
No.
All I know that he's already 19, and by mid-season next year, he'll already be 20. I don't know.
For prospects like Pontus Holmberg, HockeyDB isn't really the best site for it. You want to go to EliteProspects.com. They have a lot of in-depth for the Swedish hockey players, for the Czech hockey players, for the KHL. They have a lot because, yes, it says 2 games, but he's probably played in many other leagues before this one.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So
that's just all we have here.
EliteProspects.com would be the beneficial site for these types of players.
So we don't really know much about them.
No, this pick, I love this pick. We drafted a goalie in the 7th round.
Zachary, Bolithier,
Frenchman out of
Chicoutimi. He played for Chicoutimi. He played for Shawinigan back in 2016-2017. Not the greatest numbers, 309 goals against average and an 8.89 save percent. I think that was his rookie season. And then his first year at Chicoutimi to start. What is that?
That's playoffs.
Oh, that's his playoff stats? Okay. Oh, there we go. So he didn't do very well in the regular season at all. 3.42 goals against and an 8.94 save.
I thought it was better.
I don't know
who I was looking at.
His playoff stats were very promising.
And he's
276 goals against, not the greatest, but
he's 18, right?
But a 931 save percentage in the playoffs for Chicoutimi.
Yeah,
he's 18. He'll turn 19 a month into the season next year.
I mean, goalies are such a wild card.
Garrett Sparks was a 7th round pick.
And look at what he turned out.
Right, he's a very, very good AHL goalie, possibly a fringe backup in the NHL right now.
We'll take it. And then the final pick,
Kizimov.
Now, I think we got this pick from Anaheim for the, I don't know.
HockeyDB, like we say, not the reliable source.
EliteProspects.com.
Right, there's literally nothing on Semyon Kizimov.
Now, is that a good sign?
I mean, he's 18. He'll turn 19 in January of
what team did he play for?
Season.
Oh.
There's no team here, so literally we're all in the dark here.
So they made a HockeyDB page because the Leafs drafted him.
Probably.
Okay.
So, I mean, 7th round picks are kind of hard to gauge.
Well, Pierre Engvall was a 7th round pick. Andreas Johnson was a 7th round pick. Yeah. So we'll take it, right? But this draft just proves that the tallest guy we drafted was 6'1". It's speed in 2018, right? So the game has changed so much. So if you could rate the draft now,
6'2" is the goalie, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Okay, for forwards.
If I could rate the draft, I'd say it was a B+.
I would say it was a B. Not overly. I mean, some of the picks were a little questionable. But I think we drafted by position rather than best available player.
Right.
And that's risky. It is. Because you can never go wrong with drafting best available player. Drafting by positional needs, look what the Montreal Canadiens did. That is extremely risky at 3rd overall, drafting Kotkaniemi. Extremely risky. You always go with best available player. Doesn't matter, you can get rid of assets later. So I would say, for me, B-, B. I am happy with the picks, though.
I'm going to say a B+, just for the fact of, like you said, positional needs. I understand it's risky, but you look at the two, what does this team lack? Hard defense.
Defenseman.
That has been a problem.
Yeah.
That has been a problem. So you get Rasmus Sandin, who is a very, very good-looking defenseman of the future for this team. Sean Durzi, I'm very excited for him. I don't know what. I got this feel about him that I'm just really excited about him. And then in the 3rd round, obviously you trade down to get Rasmus Sandin, and then you get a 3rd-round pick, and you draft the youngest player in the draft. I don't think you can go wrong.
You can't.
You can't really go wrong with a guy who just turned 17.
Can he? No, he can't go to the Marlies because he's never played. And he's only played for Peterborough. Okay.
He's going to start. He's going to start his year and turn 18 in September. I think September 15th he turns 18. But I don't know. I'm really excited. A lot of the later picks, I'm a little like, well, I'm not really sure who they are.
I mean,
I'm not really sure.
3rd-round picks.
You look at a guy like Riley Stotts and Mac Hollowell. I mean, those are guys that have been iffy the last few years.
Right.
But last year they were great, and I think that's why they got drafted so high, is because they had great last years. Now, can they continue that and continue to get better? That's the question mark. Now, you can look. This team needed center and defense. In the first 5 rounds, which we had 6 picks, you drafted 4 defensemen and 2 centers. I'm not complaining.
And guys, let's not be quick to judge. Have any of you guys, including you or me, have watched Riley Stotts play? Watched Mac Hollowell play? No, so we can't say anything. We can only go by stats. And I mean, so I don't know.
If you have any insight on them, please let us know. But I mean, as of right now, I mean, I like the draft. The first 3 picks, I'm really excited about. Everything after that, I'm kind of like I'm not really sure. And I think that's what later round picks really mean. I mean, I think that's any year. You look at last year's pick. Timothy Liljegren and Emily Rasanen. I'm very excited about those 2 guys. Everybody after that, I have no clue.
I mean, there was. I think this was in the 2016 draft. It was. Where's Timashov in the
5th round.
In the 5th round, we kind of knew what we were getting from him. We were like, okay, this guy's a steal.
Yeah, he had a really good point per game year that year, but he was small.
I'm not saying any guys are going to be necessarily steals that we look at and, okay, that's a steal, right? So it's hard to say, but I'm going to say B-. You're going to say B+?
I'm going to say B+.
Okay.
I think it was a pretty good draft for this team.
Now, do you want to go around the league and see who drafted who and what? Let's do that.
Okay, let's go through that and see if anybody went way off the board.
Which we know players did. Actually, I'm going to get...
Just looking up here, just trying to figure things out here, trying to get this to you guys.
Right. So obviously
results. There it is.
Right. Well, you could go on HockeyDB. But anyway, so first...
obviously the first overall
pick was Rasmus Dahlin.
Right, and we expected that. There was no question about it. Buffalo was doing that. And congratulations to Buffalo for actually getting a first overall.
And actually getting a franchise defenseman.
Good.
Now, will this defenseman turn around the team? We don't know.
Time will tell with that.
Only time will tell. Now, obviously, the second overall pick, Andrei Svechnikov out of the Barrie Colts. He was supposed to go second. No surprise there. Carolina.
Right.
Montreal, we all knew that it was going to happen. A lot of speculation if it was going to happen, but they drafted by positional need. Jesper Kotkaniemi going 3rd overall out of AC Port, out of the Slim Liga. He's obviously a Finnish center. He's still 17. He's a big center that Montreal needs. So they drafted positionally, which is very risky when you get into the top 10. So
top 5 even.
Top 5. Yeah, exactly.
So that's I don't know. I mean, he could be a very good player. Only time will tell. He's young, very young. The question: will he play with Montreal this year?
I don't think so. I think he needs at least one more year. He's not NHL ready. Rasmus Dahlin is ready.
Yeah.
Andrei Svechnikov is ready. Jasmir Kotkaniemi, no. Brady Tkachuk going 4th overall to the Ottawa Senators. I was a little surprised that they didn't draft Zadina because right now...
Yeah, I'm shocked about that.
Ottawa needs the best available player for any position. Now, I'm not saying that Brady is going to be a bad player, but they passed on Philip Zadina, a 40-goal scorer.
Yeah, that's a very risky move.
But this isn't a bad pick.
And that's where Montreal Canadian fans are like, oh, we got our center. Well, now you still don't have a scorer.
Well, they do have wingers, but
they haven't been
I know
able to
what
score.
you mean. I know what you mean. So, obviously, that's not that bad of a pick for Ottawa, but I would think that they would draft best positional need.
And then Detroit.
Best available player. No, Arizona. Arizona drafted Barrett Hayden at 5th overall. I'm sorry, that is way too high. Barrett Hayden, yes, he did the Sioux Greyhounds in 63 games. He had 27 points in his first year. Second year, 63 games, 60 points. So, yes, he did have a breakout year. 18 years old, but I'm sorry, at 5th overall.
And you missed on a 40-goal scorer, Philip Zadina.
And right now, they already have Dylan Strome. They already have Derek Stepan. They have their centers. I mean, this I think was worse than the Montreal pick. Montreal needed a center.
You have a 40-goal scorer winger right in the looms. Take it.
Well, the thing is about that is that they don't need any more centers, in my opinion. They're drafting positionally, but do they really need any more centers?
No, they don't.
No, so
they need a guy who can put the puck in the net.
I could see what Montreal. Well, not necessarily. I could see what. Well, they need wingers in general, not just people can.
Well, wingers' priorities are goal scorers, really.
Well, you see playmaking wingers too.
Right, but when you get a guy who can score, and we got one heck of a shot, you take that.
I can kind of see the Montreal pick, but I mean, with this one, obviously,
it's kind of out in the water. I don't even know what's going on.
He was supposed to go in the maybe 10 to 15.
And then you get the Detroit Red Wings, a divisional team, getting Philip Zadina. 6th overall.
They have to be so happy with that.
I would be. I'd be ecstatic.
Yeah. So I just want to kind of look at his stats.
I don't, because we're going to be seeing him a long time.
Halifax Mooseheads in 57 games, 44 goals, 38 points, 38 assists, 82 points. No, this guy is NHL ready.
He's got one heck of a shot, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw him in the World Juniors. That kid's got one heck of a bomb.
And also a steal for the Vancouver Canucks, Quinn Hughes. His brother is supposed to go 1st overall next year. But, Quinn Hughes out of, I think it was Michigan. Yes, it was Michigan. 37 games, 29 points for a 18-year-old defenseman.
In University League.
A little small, exactly. He's playing with overagers. A little bit small at 5'10", but this guy was supposed to go to Detroit at 6.
It's a very good pick.
Very good pick. I was expecting them to pick up Noah Dobson, but right. Now, the pick that kind of with the Rangers, yes, we're skipping over Chicago. They picked up Adam Boqvist. Great pick for them.
Vitaly
Kravtsov. Now this guy was supposed to go in the late 1st, early 2nd out of any mock draft I've seen. His stats aren't bad. He was definitely, I think he was in the KHL with the Tractor.
What is it? Oh, yeah, okay.
He's only 18 years old, so he's playing in an all-men's league in the KHL, pretty much the second best league in the world. He has 35 games, 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points. He had a very good playoffs, though.
11 points in 16 games.
This is pretty much the NHL, a little bit less than the NHL at the KHL. So,
how old is he?
18.
And he is how big? 6'2".
6'2", 170. I'm sorry, though, when you have Oliver Wahlstrom there, when you have
Noah
Dobson there.
You had a lot of guys there to pick up, and they passed on him for a guy who was supposed to go late in the 1st.
Right.
That's a little
That's
iffy.
questionable. Edmonton obviously gets the right-handed shot about Evan Bouchard. We've talked about him on the podcast before.
About him being big and slow.
Well, not terribly slow, but skating issues.
Slower than your average NHL player now.
Yeah. Now, I think the steal out of the draft for the Islanders, they drafted Oliver Wahlstrom at 11th and Noah Dobson back-to-back. These guys were supposed to go...
They were supposed to go top 10, weren't they? Or at least 7
to 5.
Yeah.
Right?
That's incredible.
Oh,
that's incredible.
Yeah, so obviously they're good. Just going down the list here, I'm not going to go through every team because...
we don't have all day.
Ty... Dellandrea went 13th. He was supposed to go around where we were picking at 20, so a little bit off the board there.
Ryan Merkley went to 21st to the San Jose Sharks.
I said I wanted him. You say you wanted Keandre Miller. They went back-to-back. Ryan Merkley is, obviously, we talked about him before. Very high risk, high reward prospect. Obviously, Keandre Miller went to the Rangers, traded with Ottawa.
Yep.
And then at 25, we traded down 4 spots, and they drafted Dominic Buck. That has to be one of the best names in...
I like that.
15.
He played in the Swedish League, had 2 points in 15 games. Again, as we can tell from Hockey DB, there's not a whole lot of information on him.
And then, obviously, the Leafs draft Rasmus Sandin at 29th overall. So, I'm happy.
I'm very happy with this draft.
Now, switching over to free agency frenzy here.
Holy smokes.
It's in less than a week, and John Tavares has...
He's not been signed yet.
No. Now, the 5 teams that were interested, I tweeted this out, would be obviously the Maple Leafs, the Islanders,
Dallas Stars,
San Jose Sharks,
Boston
Bruins, and Tampa Bay. No,
16s
they were saying that before that the LA Kings were involved, but obviously Kovalchuk signed for the exact same contract as Marleau, so they're done. Now, John Tavares met with the Leafs. This was yesterday on the Monday, right? Obviously met with Kyle Dubas, Mike Babcock, all the boys there, Brendan Shanahan.
Yep.
Now they booked, I think it was the CAA or something like that, some office downtown in downtown Los Angeles. They booked the room for 3 hours. Now everyone left in 2 hours. John Tavares, his agent. Now that could mean two things.
That could mean very good or very bad. It could be very bad, as in 2 hours, and they're like, okay, maybe this is not for us. Or 2 hours in, yeah, we know we got this. We'll talk to you soon, John, and get you a contract. It could mean either thing. Now, until he signs with whomever, obviously the Islanders still have his rights for until July 1st. But it's before the podcast, actually, well, obviously, this past week, Barry Trotz signs with the New York Islanders, and instantly we think, well, John Tavares is going to be staying with the Islanders. Now they're having all these meetings, and Tavares wants to probably test it out and see what's out there.
Well, the thing is about with that is that Stamkos did the same thing, right? Now,
but he didn't test. He did not test free agency, though.
No, he didn't, but John Tavares still won't. We don't know if he'll test or not.
Every day that goes by is 1 day closer.
I know, but the thing is about this is that when Steven Stamkos I guess the pitch from us, we brought in maybe 7 or 8 guys. And that was a little bit overwhelming for Stamkos. I think we brought in everybody from the Leafs management. We brought in, I think, John Ferguson Jr., I think he was there too.
Yeah, what a mess that guy was.
I don't know about him. We brought a lot of people to pitch to the city and be like, we want you here. And it kind of scared off Stamkos. And
I don't blame it.
When he left that meeting, he's like, no way in hell. And
he doesn't want to be in this big market.
No. Because
he doesn't want this.
Because the media's going to be all over him. Now, I don't know if John Tavares wants to be in a big market. That will be said if he does, but...
well, look at the teams he's talking to. Boston, us. He was talking to L.A.
No, he was never talking to LA.
They were interested in him, so I'm like, those are 3 huge markets.
And then you have the Islanders, which I don't think they're a big market. You have San Jose, which isn't, and then you have Dallas, which isn't. So I think the dark horse would be him signing with the San Jose Sharks. I don't think we're the front runners.
I don't think he can win with the San Jose Sharks.
I think he can. With Brent Burns, Logan Couture, they made it to the second round without Tavares.
Right, but will Joe Thornton be the guy anymore?
He doesn't have to be the guy if you have Tavares.
I don't know. The passing ability, I don't know. It'd be a very risky thing for the San Jose Sharks.
But just
they're getting older, and then you pay a guy that much money. It's very interesting to see.
Right, but they still have a 3-year door. With Joe Pavelski still being there,
3 years, yeah, but John Tavares, after 3 years, doesn't want to be like, well, I'm done. 3 years? With the Leafs, you got everything, man.
Other than cap room. Now, the Leafs were offering about giving him...
He doesn't care about cap room. Tavares doesn't care about cap room. He wants to get paid and he wants to win.
Exactly. No, I'm not saying he cares about it. I'm saying the Leafs care about cap room.
Right. Well, it all depends on what the asking price is. I don't know what the
Now, they obviously moved out Bodker, and they have less cap room than us, but we have more players to sign than San Jose. William Nylander, the 3-headed monster, right?
Yeah, and they extended qualifying offers to a lot of the guys, too. A lot of the Leafs.
I don't think there's nobody that's an RFA that we didn't qualify to.
No, I think they qualified them all.
Now, I'm a little bit surprised about Morinson, but I mean, he's good for the AHL, so give him an AHL contract. But we'll go through that later. Now, I think the other 2 teams, now this is Tuesday, June 26th, where we are recording this podcast. The 2 teams that he's meeting with are, I think the Sharks, and I'm not too sure about the other team, but I know he's meeting with 2 teams today.
The Stars, I think, really want him to have that 2-headed monster down the middle with him and Sagan.
And then you have Spezza, but I mean, they don't really have necessarily... And plus, they have to sign Tyler Sagan. So, I don't see Dallas an option at all.
I don't see it either. Boston, I don't know. I don't think they can sign him.
They have $7 million tied up in David Krejci, so they're going to have to do something about that. For one, I think, obviously, the front runners are going to be the New York Islanders.
And the Sharks.
Islanders first, because I still think he's going to resign in Long Island. Then the Sharks, then us. I think the Sharks are a dark horse. In my opinion. Well, only time will tell, exactly. Like you're saying, right?
I mean, every day that goes by, Leaf fans get more excited, and I don't blame them one bit.
Do you want to talk about the trade with Carolina and Calgary quickly?
We'll get to that in a second. I just want to talk about the qualifying offers for the Leafs. So the qualifying offers, they extended William Nylander, Andreas Johnsson, Aaltonen, which is great news because even though he's going back to the KHL,
he's going back to the KHL.
We're still going to have his rights until he's 27. So that's still
he's going back for sure.
Yes, that's already been said that he's going back.
I'm surprised. I mean, he could really get a shot on the fourth line for the Leafs.
I guess not. I guess they don't feel like he. I don't know. I guess that's not what
That's
he felt.
a little disappointing.
Frederick Gauthier, Martin Marincin, and Justin Hall. Those are the three. Those are the other guys that they.
A little bit surprised about Marincin and a little bit surprised about Gauthier, but I mean, keep both those guys in the AHL. It can't hurt. We want a cup with them, so why not? You know.
They're great players. So I mean,
for sure,
they did a great job down there in the AHL. So why not? Now we'll talk about that trade. That trade between the the Carolina Hurricanes and the Calgary Flames. Oh my goodness!
Who do you think won? Now, if you didn't know the trade, the Carolina Hurricanes had contract issues with Elias Lindholm and Noah Hanifin. They didn't want to give them the money that they deserved, if you will. Both RFAs. So they shipped those two off to the Calgary Flames for Dougie Hamilton, Nolan Fox. No, what was his first name? Something Fox. He's a pretty good right-handed defensive prospect. It's something Fox. He was a third round pick. Darren Fox. Something. I'm not sure. And then Michael Furland, who scored 20 goals. Yes, he was on the first line in Calgary. There was Calgary Flames fans talking about that. But if you look at this right now, you go with the team that got the best player, and that is going to be the Carolina Hurricanes. Dougie Hamilton scored 17 goals as a defenseman. That is very good.
So the trade was the Calgary Flames trade defenseman Dougie Hamilton, Michael Furland, and blue line prospect Adam Fox. To the Carolina Hurricanes for Elias Lindholm and Noah Hanifin.
Now, Elias Lindholm is the wild card in this scenario, if you will. He is a very promising center. He's still young. He's still 23 years of age. He had not really a down year.
In Carolina, it's kind of hard to get that mojo. With the fan base not really being a fan base and all that. And now going to Calgary, a Canadian market, and obviously
medium-sized market, but it is Canadian.
Yeah. And I don't know, a team that wants to win now. And a guy like that who's been playing there for, at least 4 years now, did Elias Lindholm, and they haven't done anything.
Well, their centers up right now on Calgary is crazy. Sean Monahan's one, now Elias Lindholm, and then they still have Michael Backlund.
So, it's a very good top three center.
And then you
throw in Noah Hanifin. Now, you did lose Dougie Hamilton.
A right-handed shot.
That is a big piece of that team.
But Noah Hanifin might have more upside in the future, but right now, Dougie Hamilton is a stud, and he is going to be a stud on the blue line of Carolina. Now, with this trade happening, I think there's more moves to come for Carolina. They're still looking for a goaltender.
Well, they got Svechnikov in the draft.
They're still looking for a goaltender.
Yeah, because they've had a carousel over there goaltending wise. Right. I mean, with Eddie Lack, Cam Ward, Scott Darling, all that craziness. I mean, they really haven't found a guy to take them to that next step. Luckily for the Leafs, though, Freddie Anderson. I mean, he was a backup for the most part in Anaheim. And then he comes here and is a stud starter. Right. Antti Ranta, great backup of Chicago, comes over there, not so much.
And geez, I was going to say something, but you put me off track. Oh yeah, right. So another right-handed shot. Now he is a top two defenseman. I don't care what anybody says.
Hamilton?
Yes.
Oh god, yeah. Oh yeah, no question about that.
Now with that being said, Justin Falk, what are you going to do with him? He's a right shot. They already have Brett Pesce, who is going to be their second pairing right shot.
Well, I was going to say that. Is Carolina trying to get younger? Well, you acquire an older Dougie Hamilton than Noah Hanifin. Furland, I wouldn't say he's old, but he's old.
23, 24.
Right. And Adam Fox, who's a prospect. And you trade away Noah Hanifin, who's still very young, obviously drafted in the Mitch Marner draft.
Yeah, right.
And Elias Lindholm, like you said, 23 years old. So I don't know.
Carolina has a lot of young prospects, especially on the blue line.
They needed change, and I think that was really implemented in that trade. They needed some change, and they got that.
Now, the one thing that they're lacking is a center. They obviously lost a center in Elias Lindholm, so you could see Justin Falk. He's a winger.
Isn't he a center or winger?
He's a winger.
Okay.
He's playing on the first line.
Okay.
But you could see Justin Falk traded for maybe I don't think a first-line center, but definitely a second-line center. So you would have Justin Falk, your second-line center, then Victor Rask.
Do you think, and I think this is a possibility,
right?
If the Leafs get out of the John Tavares sweepstakes, they hop in the Justin Falk trade, Zox.
Yeah.
I think that's a big option.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what we do in free agency alone if we do not get John Tavares, because you do have a lot of, if we're going to re-sign JVR, we still don't know. But for right now, our eyes are set on John Tavares, and when that whole debacle is over,
When that domino falls, it'll
rather we
change
sign
everything.
him or we don't. It's gonna be. So let's just say that we don't sign him.
I don't think JVR and Bozak and Komarov are coming back, just because with the way Dubas was talking, oh yeah, we're open to doing it. Have we heard any contract talks at all?
Because we're so focused on Tavares right now.
Well, we are as fans.
They
we
are. They are too.
Well, they had a meeting with them. That's a 2-hour meeting. What else can they do? Nothing.
Well,
you got to try and do. You can't just sit and wait for John Tavares on July 1st. Okay, what are we going to
No,
do?
no, yeah,
right?
no,
They got to
I
try and do
understand
that.
that,
So
yeah.
if they want JVR, Bozak, and Komarov back, or any of the three guys, they'd be trying to work out a deal.
and they're gonna have to be out on John Tavares, obviously. Which
Right,
they're
and
not.
at that point, it could be exactly like the Edwin Encarnacion situation.
Yeah.
He asked for a certain amount. That could be what JVR and them are asking for.
Yep.
And they're like, screw it. Or no, sorry. You know, it's kind of a situation of if John Tavares, you know, wow, that's a big update.
Yeah.
Looks like Max Pacioretty could be on the move. To Buffalo?
For Ryan O'Reilly.
Why would you trade him to a divisional team?
I don't know. Okay, so keep going. So keep going what you were saying.
So, I don't know. The John Tavares thing, it's still up in the air. And actually,
What?
next podcast, it'll be
We'll
past
know.
July 1st.
We'll know.
I don't know if we'll know. He won't sign maybe on the day. He might take some time to do it. But what I'm saying is, it'll be, July 3rd when we do the next podcast.
Yeah.
So that he might be signed at that point. There might be a video up on the channel that John Tavares is signed with the Leafs.
Yeah.
If that all happens, but next week is going to be a very interesting one for this podcast.
So it was a. Well, I'm sorry, but there's a trade right
all
there.
right, so let's talk about it.
Okay, so Max Pacioretty to Long Island for a first-round
Long
pick for
Island?
next year.
Wait, this is like a 3-team trade?
Yeah, for exchange for Ryan O'Reilly. So,
Straight up. So Pacioretty for Ryan O'Reilly straight up. Wait,
No.
did I just write
No,
Pacioretty
Max Pacioretty to Long Island for a first-round pick. So next year's first.
for the Islanders?
Yeah.
Bergevin. I mean, technically, if you look at the trade for Montreal, they get rid of Pacioretty and they get a first and Ryan O'Reilly.
So wait, what did Buffalo get?
Oh yeah, what does Buffalo get? Did they get Pacioretty? No,
It
to
is
Long
an
Island.
exchange. So basically,
Buffalo's trading O'Reilly for nothing? Is that what I'm hearing? It's not confirmed. It's not a confirmed deal because obviously that's stupid for Buffalo. They just draft Dahlin, Rasmus Dahlin, and then they trade Ryan O'Reilly for nothing. That makes no sense. But I think we're going to move on from hockey because it's a 41-minute hockey segment.
well, there's a lot to talk about. So Mark Bergevin just did the unbelievable.
Well, just hang on. It's not confirmed yet. It's not confirmed.
Okay.
Let's just take it easy a little bit.
Okay.
We'll hear about it, as time goes on.
So
Now,
the Blue Jays.
let's flip to the ballpark. I mean, for the Blue Jays, like we said right off the top, the Blue Jays, we knew they were going to have that crazy stretch. We knew they were going to have some ridiculous, time obviously with the Nationals, with the Braves. Obviously the Nationals and Braves being 1-2 in their division. You look at the Angels, a team that is trying to fight for a wild card spot. At least they're over 500. And then you go and try and face one of the best teams in the league, the Houston Astros. That was the big crazy stretch, and then the Jays come home to face Detroit on Canada Day. Yeah. So that's that. They sweep the Nationals. We already know that. They split the Braves. It was a 2-game set, so they split.
Plus, the Trailblazers are a good team.
They were first place in the division.
And then you won what? Was it 1 or 2 games against Houston?
You split it. No, so right now the Houston series going on. You played LA. Yeah. I think it was over the weekend.
Right.
And you split. You won 2. You lost 2. And you just won the opener against the Astros. Are you kidding? I don't think anybody expected this. The way this team was playing going into that National Series after getting swept by the Tampa Bay Rays down in Tampa, and then you go into this and you're playing as well as they are.
I mean, see,
it's crazy.
But it's mainly flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. You really expect this to keep going? If it does, hey, great. But you see who's stepping up and who's not. Josh Donaldson, is he stepping up?
He's injured, so that's that.
Well,
so no, he's not.
No.
He's injured.
But you see the veterans, are they really stepping up?
Kendrys Morales has probably been in one of the hottest tears I've seen him in a long time.
You're right, yeah.
He came off the bench in the finale of the Angels series for one at bat. and he hits a bomb in extra innings. You know, I mean, he's just playing ridiculously good baseball. He's not swinging at stupid pitches. And what's his batting average now? 242. I mean, not too long ago, we were talking about like 150, and we're like, this guy's atrocious, get him the hell out of here. And he's raised his average almost 100 points. He's been hitting the home run ball a little bit. He has not been striking out barely at all.
Now, I asked you if he was going to come back to form. You said no, he's not. He
I
obviously
didn't think
has.
so, but yeah, here he is. Yeah. I mean, he struck out twice against the Astros in the opener yesterday.
Right.
But before that, he hadn't stricken out at all since the finale of the Washington series.
That's saying
he
something.
played all 4 against the Angels. He played both against the Atlanta Braves, and in none of those games he struck out at all.
He is getting hot. Now, his trade value, his stock has risen.
Right, but he still has another year on his contract. It's not like he's a guy.
No.
So I don't know.
Well, it doesn't.
I don't know what the deal is with that.
Are you still on after all this happened?
Tank Nation? Yeah.
I am too.
Absolutely.
There's no way that we can flip-flop with
This team, no, I'm sorry. The reason I'm still on Tank Nation, guys, is because of the fact, look, the team's been playing well as of late. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're playing some good baseball right now. But I'm sorry, the Seattle Mariners are 48-31. They're 17 games over 500, and that is the second wild card spot. The Jays are 10.5 games out of that spot. Look, I know it's 10.5, and I know it's not even the end of June yet. I get that.
It's almost halfway done the season.
But you're telling me that this team can make up 10.5 games in the last few months? This team, right now, I don't think so.
See, I don't think we're going to do as bad as some people said we would do.
I thought they could win a wild card because I did not think that the Seattle Mariners would be able to do what they are, especially
they were crap
since
for so
Robinson
long.
Cano got done with PEDs. I thought there's no way they can come back and do any good.
Obviously,
Here they
not.
are. Now,
who's stepping up for them?
They're 4-6 in their last 10. They've won 1. I mean, they're still in that weird area. But they don't. Other than Cano, there's really no injuries. They acquired Alex Colomé, the closer for the Tampa Bay Rays, a very good player. Edwin Diaz is their closer. They have very good pitching. Obviously, King Felix Hernandez. He's had a rough season. James Paxton, the Canadian, obviously threw the no-hitter against the Blue Jays. He's had a pretty good season.
How's John Axford doing?
He had a good inning last game, but overall not so great. Mike Zunino, the catcher, what's he doing? He's not even hitting 200, so it's weird. They're finding ways to win, and I think it's their infield. You look at a guy like D. Gordon. He is hitting 289. How many steals does he have? 20 steals already. He's got 36 runs, scored 12 doubles. He's a great player. Mm-hmm. Ryan Healy, they picked up from the Oakland Athletics. Didn't take them long to do that. He's hitting 253. He's got 14 home runs. He's doing very well. Kyle Seager. This is all their infield I'm talking about here. He's got 13 home runs. He's not hitting a great average, but he's still a great player.
Right.
Gene Segura, hitting 331, one of the best players in the league. I mean, there you go. That's their infield. Everybody that I named there is, name-wise, is all-star caliber. And that tells me right there this team is a contending team.
So if they were an all-star caliber team, then why wouldn't you expect them to be as good as they are?
Because they haven't never done it.
With the same team?
Pretty much. I mean, they added a few guys, but really...
Would you think that... Would you think that the Mariners were the Jays of 2013 with all these All-Stars coming over from Miami? Was that 2013? All these All-Stars?
Yes, it was. 2013.
So kind of same scenario, but now they're just gelling together.
And then the names I didn't mention, Nelson Cruz is still in there. So, I mean, you look at that.
He's dropped off, though, a little bit.
He's getting a lot older now. If you want to look at it as a Jays fan and say, well, they're not playing well lately. Well, they're not. They're 4-6 in their last 10.
He had drug-related issues before, Nelson Cruz.
He did. But for the Jays, look, we can't worry about a playoff spot. We got to worry about our own team and just see how things go. And for the younger guys, you want to see them do better. And a guy like Randall Grichuk, he's only 26 years old. He's only 26.
Mid-age
And for
guy.
Baseball, he's a rookie. He's a young guy.
Oh.
I mean, he only played a couple years in the big leagues.
He played 2 with what? St. Louis?
Yeah, 2 years with two years in St. Louis, but he was up and down, not so great. We knew he could hit the home run.
Right.
Clearly, we saw that yesterday because he just. Bottom line, a fence, an outfield fence is, depending where you hit it, let's say 401 to dead center field.
Right.
He crushed the insurance 2 runs last night, 471 feet. Bottom line, he plastered it.
Geez.
He just destroyed the ball. You see, and he's not a big guy either. So,
outside the ballpark.
When he came off the DL, he was only hitting not even 100. He was abysmal. He was terrible.
Before the DL, abysmal.
Yeah.
DL happened, whatever. After the DL, he was a little bit.
Since he's come off the DL, he's hitting over 300. And I mean, you look at that, and you're like, wow, this guy's been really playing well lately. A guy like Teoscar Hernandez is still showing us that he's one of our main guys of our future. At 263, he was 3 for 5 yesterday. One problem with him, his strikeout rate is way too high. But again, I think over time he'll be able to work on that. Granderson had a great night yesterday. And Joe Biagini's kind of found his way a little bit, which is
it was
weird.
What, 1 or 2 games?
In a row, you mean?
Yeah.
He's had 4 outings of no runs. 1 against Atlanta, 2 against LA, and then 1 against Houston yesterday.
Well, there's only going to be a time it'll place for Joe Biagini, and that's going to be. I
don't know. It's very intriguing. But for the Blue Jays, I mean, I'm jacked up about tonight. There's probably a guy I've talked about on the podcast before. I mentioned in my videos, Ryan Baruki. I don't know how to pronounce his name exactly. I'll figure that out tonight.
The hype surrounding him is unreal, and
he's one of our top 10 prospects. He's been playing in AAA Buffalo.
He's been tearing it up there.
He's been doing very, very well. Anything below a 3.5 ERA is really good.
Sorry, he's playing in AAA or AA?
Triple.
Oh, triple.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he was in A-ball last year, tore that up, went to Dunedin, tore that up, went to New Hampshire AA, tore that up.
So why haven't we been talking about him? It's only been Bo and Vladdy.
Because he's a pitcher. This guy's a pitcher. So, and he's a lefty. And I think that's why I'm so excited. He's getting the start tonight against the Houston Astros.
So this is his major league debut?
This is his major league debut. He's 24 years old, still a very young pitcher for this team. If this guy can turn out the way we feel he can, I'm jacked up for tonight.
You should do a live stream.
I don't know. I mean, tonight's going to be a long night. I'm not too sure about that. But it's an 8-10 first pitch down there in Houston. I don't know. This guy, like I said,
it is against Houston.
Anything below 3.5 ERA, you're doing very well. He had a 3.2 in AAA.
But what a way to start your major league debut against the World Series champions in the Houston Astros.
If he does well, people are probably going to say, well, it's because they never saw him before. And that could be something.
If he does bad, they're going to say he's a rookie. He's
young.
facing
Houston. So there's always going to be an excuse somewhere from somebody.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm very excited to see this kid pitch. Because the Jays win today. They've won 4 straight. And they win a series against the World Series champions. I never expected it.
No. Personally, I never expected us to win more than, against the Angels with, Look,
I didn't expect to do anything against the Nationals, Braves, Angels, and Astros.
We got swept by Tampa Bay.
Yeah, if you're getting swept by Tampa Bay, I mean, it's ridiculous. You look at the way this team has gone. They're 3 games over 500 during this crazy stretch because of the sweep against the Nationals.
Are you okay with it? Because you're still on Tank Nation. I'm still on Tank Nation. Every Jays fan should still be on Tank Nation. We're a middling team at this point.
I'm okay with it right now.
Because
it's June.
And we are getting wins, and you love to see the Blue Jays win.
By July, this team will see that they're not a playoff contending team. Sell off
Will
Jay
they?
Happ.
Will they?
Yes, they will. If they're 10 to 12 games out by the trade deadline, and
I'm not too sure if we do end up winning if we won't sell any of these guys. That is my nightmare, because
mid-June they're talking about people calling about Jay Happ and Ryan Tepera and guys like that. I mean, that tells
James talking.
Calling.
Everybody's calling about players. Hey, Mike Trout, what should we give up? 4 future first-round picks.
Yeah, but you don't hear about that, right? Why? Because it's not big news.
Yes, but there are teams that call pretty much all the time about players, but you just don't hear about it.
Why did we hear about these?
Well, something could happen, but my nightmare is that if we are a middling team,
they will do
Shapiro
something.
And Atkins.
They will do something.
We said that about Masai Ujiri. Did he? No. So you can't
We said that. Well, they did it last year. Leonard Lariano was atrocious. They trade him to Houston, and they get Teoscar Hernandez, who's a big part of this.
Only
future.
time will tell.
They trade Joe Smith. They get two fairly good-looking prospects back.
Listen to those just guys. I mean, are they really like J.A. Happ?
Look what you got back.
J.A. Happ is probably our best starter.
Right. So you're going to move him. He's a free agent at the end of the year. He's having a great season. You're not a contending team. You move him. We're hearing mid-June that teams are talking to him. That tells me by late July, he's gone.
So even if the package isn't what the Jays necessarily want, like let's just, I don't know. I'm just throwing out there. The Yankees lowball us for J. Happ. It's
because he's a free agent. It's because he's a free agent.
Right. Would they say no and then get nothing for him?
I think they'll take something. They want the best trade available. If they're going to ask for J. Happ for like a 25-year-old guy in A-ball who's not playing well, no, they're not going to do that. They're not that stupid. They're not that stupid.
Well, no, the Yankees aren't even that stupid for...
No, but I'm just saying, right? They're not going to take any trade they get if they're desperate.
Now, would you be feeling comfortable? Because, yes, we're not going to be in a playoff spot, so trading within our division Not a bad. I mean, because we're not going to be seeing.
Well, no. Well, with J. Happ, he's a free agent at the end of the year.
So he could go. So he could go anywhere. He could go to the Yankees.
So
let's say
you trade him. Well, I don't know about that. With having all the contracts they have, and with the big free agents that are out there, don't they want to go after Mike Trout and Bryce Harper, both of them, and Manny Machado as well? Why not? Right?
All three of them, eh?
Wouldn't surprise me from the New York Yankees. Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, they have the largest payroll in the league.
Right, and they're probably going to make a big bid for Manny Machado. I can see that happening.
That's
they need a
unbelievable.
third. They pretty much need a third baseman. So that's
typical, if you will.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this big free agent class is crazy. It's insane. With Donaldson,
Mike Trout,
Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, and that's a lot of big guys.
I think Bryce Harper's going to stay in Washington.
I want him to, just because of
Manny Machado's definitely done, dude. I'm sorry.
He's tired of Baltimore. I don't blame him. I mean, the Baltimore Orioles are an abysmal
It's a tire
team.
fire.
They're 23 and 54.
It's a
They're
tire
over
fire.
30 games under 500, and we're in June.
Who's the worst in the Kansas City's running back too?
Yeah, Kansas City.
Surprisingly, Oakland's not the worst in the league anymore.
No, they're 3 games over 500. They're just in a ridiculously awful division, like a really good division. They're fourth in the division, and they're 3 games over 500. In our division, they'd be third.
Oh, well.
By quite a few games.
Yeah,
so
Seattle's good. LA's there.
Yeah, I mean, they have a really, really good division. But then you look at this stupid division in the AL Central. Now, Cleveland's been playing a little bit better. But the best team is 9 games over 500.
Yeah, because you look at the second best, Minnesota's 6 games below 500. Like, come on.
It's just tough. I mean, but you look at the way this Jays team is set. They have a great young core. A lot of great young core. A lot of young guys down in Double-A and Triple-A and in Dunedin. There's a lot of guys that I'm jacked up about,
Right.
And I'm really excited about this team, but I really don't think there's a whole lot more to talk about. They look to finish off this road trip on a high note. I mean, they have
against Houston.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, they took the first game
going tonight, Estrada going in Game 3 tomorrow, and then the day off before they come home
against the Tigers.
to take on the Detroit Tigers at home. Stroman looking for another good start. He was great.
Is that
his last outing.
is that who I think it is?
Francisco Lariano going in Game 1 of that series, former Blue Jay. But I mean,
Stroman pitched his first game, and he looked
in LA. He pitched 5 innings. He was no runs on 6 hits. I mean,
it was only 5 innings, but obviously
because he threw 88 pitches, he hasn't pitched in over a month. So I mean, that's probably why they did that, and they ended up getting win as much as it was stressful as heck. But whatever.
But they got the win.
They got the job done. Now we're gonna move to basketball, and there's not much to talk about.
Well,
because I'm just pissed.
I'm pissed off as well. So obviously the 2018 draft has come and gone. We've seen the players.
We thought.
I thought
before the draft that they were going to make a trade for at least the second round pick,
or at the draft. That has not happened.
Because then we heard before, in our last podcast, we heard, okay, you know what? They're looking to try to trade either in the top 10 or around there to get
that guy from Hamilton or Mississauga
that's the guy they were going to try and go after
Saxton
with that pick or something. No, nothing.
They didn't even get a second. Now this move right here just proves that Masai Ujiri is content about our bench stepping up next year, which they will, but I'm sorry.
Or he's too scared to make a move.
No.
My opinion, and he does not like making any kind of big move. I'm sorry.
And
when there is any opportunity to get a big player at the trade deadline or something, he does nothing.
Well, I mean,
now I know this year I understand that, but like really,
well, he's very content with his team at this point, right?
You can't fall in love with a team. Change has to be made. You got to do something, and he did nothing.
No, not even for a second. Like you said, give away somebody for a second. Well, obviously not the star guys, but get Lucas Nogueira. Can you get a second for him? I'm pretty sure you can. I mean, really?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Lorenzo Brown was an MVP in the G League. Maybe you can try and package him and Lucas Nogueira for a second just to get something back. Get a pick, period. No. Nothing happens.
Now,
and the Raptors go that without nothing, with no picks at all.
Now, that being said, the Raptors obviously want to win now. And Masai Ujiri came out and saying that rebuild, we don't do that here. So getting a second, that won't do anything now. If we draft somebody in the second round, that's not going to do anything for at least 3 or 4 more years until he develops, if he is ever going to develop. But he hasn't dropped the ball on any of these big speculated trades, and I don't know if he will, because the draft was the time where you do it.
He's too scared to make a move.
Then he should be fired, because at this point, you traded Dwayne Casey. You fired Dwayne Casey.
He's coach of the year now. He named Coach of the Year last night.
You brought in Nick Nurse, which is a Dwayne Casey 2.0, respectively.
Well, I'm not going to say anything about that until I see him coach.
Whatever. You don't make any moves. You keep the same core. And is this team with Boston and the 76ers in our own division getting better? I sound like a broken record here, but guys, it's true. Cleveland, who knows if LeBron's going to be leaving? If he is, whatever, that's one team. But teams in our division are getting better.
Because now you hear, and I you know what, I don't want to hear Masai say this, and this is my one thing that I'm nervous and I don't want to hear him say.
Your pet peeve, if you will.
Yeah. Well, our young guys, OG's going to get better, Siakam's going to get better, Pirtle's going to get better. Are you really banking on all those guys making huge jumps to make this team a contender?
And if you are, that's not good for their development. I mean, yes, you want to put them on the spot, but you're basically saying that to the fans. Us fans are going to be like, all right, OG Anunoby, 12 points per game or else you're a bust. No, you don't do it like that. This team can't rely on these young guys. They need a superstar right now.
And there's so many question marks. I mean, we talk about it every day. Can Kyle Lowry continue the pace he's at? He's getting older. Can he do that? DeMar DeRozan, can he perform in the playoffs? There's all these question marks. Can Ibaka shoot a consistent ball? Can he play? Can he average 15 a game and play a good defense? Can JV be a good defender? You see it at points, but then he loses himself. That's the starting lineup. A lot of question marks. Can DeLon Wright make the next step? Can Fred VanVleet, if he re-signs, be the same guy that he was last year? Can Siakam and Pirtle make those jumps that you want them to make to be elite guys? Can Norman Powell actually do something next year? Those are all the question marks going into next. Can OG be a star? I don't know.
No, and I mean, to Serge Ibaka's credit, I mean, he cannot be as worse as he was. There's only one way, and that's up for Serge Ibaka. So Masai Ujiri is obviously banking on. I mean, the season hasn't started yet. It's still the offseason. Anything can happen.
Yet, so I guess
no.
But from the draft, I expected something.
It was so frustrating. The Raptors pick went by. That guy went what?
11th, I think, exactly where he was mock draft
with Charlotte.
I think it was.
So I mean, I was very not even a late first, not even a second. But good news is that if we are going to suck next year, which right now we aren't going to suck because we still have the same players, obviously.
We're still going to be a top 3-4 team, and if you look at it, I mean...
We'll definitely make the playoffs. I don't know about that high, but... Yeah, but we still have our first for a second. I mean, really, a late first? Is that going to help you now? Yes, it is a pick, but we need something to help us now because...
Lowry is 33, and DeRozan is, 28, 29 now. There's no time for drafting and developing young guys.
No.
Unless these guys are your future and DeRozan and Lowry just fill in guys for now.
No. And
because it shouldn't be that way.
And obviously you're not unloading on any of these big contracts, so we cannot do anything in free agency. Who knows? Maybe Fred VanVleet, we won't even have enough cap room to sign him. It's
and then if you lose that, oh my God, you lost Steady Freddie, you lose, but the question is though, you sit here and you say, yes, you want Fred VanVleet back, but are you willing to give him a Norman Powell contract? And it's the exact same situation.
Well, we talked about that last podcast, we did. Right? So, but right now, it's a nightmare for the Raptors because we're not doing anything, and I think Masai's scared to make a move, like you've been saying. But
his biggest move he made was bringing in Serge Ibaka, and that, looking at it now, you got rid of a first-round pick in Terrence Ross.
Well, Terrence Ross was whatever, but a first-round pick.
He basically gave you what Ibaka's given you. I mean, obviously not the same style, but he's giving you about 10 points a game, 10, 12 points a game, and he's shooting the three probably better than Serge Ibaka did, and you got rid of your first-round pick.
It's unbelievable that I thought 100%, not even 70%, he might do something, 80%. No, I was 100% sure that the Raptors would make a move, rather that be a big move and get
10th, 11th overall
Trae
pick.
Young or something like that, or getting, like you said, that pick, or getting at least a second. None of that happened.
No, not a single pick. And
so frustrating.
That's what frustrates Raptor fans. Now, it's going to be interesting whether Masai says, no, my plan was not for the draft because young guys. But we're going to make a move at the debt. Maybe we're going to make a move. Trade. I don't know. I have no idea what to expect from Masai Ujiri.
It's not necessarily trading because it's not necessarily trading for draft picks at the draft. You can do player for player because all the GMs are there at the draft.
Yep.
Right? So that's when you can talk to other GMs in person and just say, hey, what do you want for this guy? Whatever.
Yep.
You could have seen a Wiggins and Jeff Teague for Lowry and DeLon Wright. I don't know. It could have happened, but obviously it didn't happen. Now, that is just a mock trade, mock whatever. We know this, but frustrated that we didn't get anybody.
And with free agency coming closer and closer,
we don't have any cap room, but we have to sign one player. And that's Fred VanVleet. We know how We relied on him. He was the star of the bench mob.
Yeah, he was steady Freddy. He was playing in the fourth quarter, down the stretch, in big minutes. Why?
Is he the only person up? Sorry to interrupt. Is he the only person up? Like,
I think he's the only free agent. I think he's the only one left.
Wow. In general?
I think so.
Oh. Well, I mean, like, is that a really good or bad thing? I'm not sure. We have all these players locked up for big money.
It's good in a sense, but then it's bad because you don't have any money to sign the guy. And he's a guy you want.
Norman Powell is the guy or Serge Ibaka is the guy. But the thing with Serge Ibaka is that if we were to attach a draft pick, because I don't care what you say, we would have to attach a draft pick to Serge Ibaka to get him out of here. Could he be like Amari Carroll? Yes. We have to attach at least a second, if not a first, to get a somewhat okay player back.
Well, I think that's the problem. You might not have. You might not be able to get an okay player back. You might have to just dump him for a second or dump him for something.
And then watch, like, let's just say that we dump him to Atlanta. I don't know. I'm just throwing a team out there, and he goes back and averages 18, 19 points a game.
Oh, I'm going to turn my TV off at that point.
So that's why I think the best move would be to keep him, because, like I said, he can't get any worse than he was this past season.
Right.
There's only up for him, and we've seen what he can do. So, but I mean, at least trading either Kyle Lowry or getting the right package back, and maybe we didn't get the right package back for Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan. That's why Masai hung up the phone. Maybe teams lowballed the Raptors. I'm not sure.
It's very interesting to see because, every day that goes by and the Raptors don't make any change, it makes Raptor fans cringe even more. And I mean...
We still have free agency to go to. We still have 2 months before the regular season or even preseason starts, so there is time. But I think if we didn't do it at the drafters, I don't think that we would do it at all.
It's going to be very intriguing to see. I mean, my goodness. It's just so nervous. It sucks right now. You know, to seeing all these teams like Boston and Philly jacked up to see next year because of the fact of they're young and they're exciting and they're just going to get better.
Right. I guess you want to talk about the draft a little bit, see who went to, see who...
yeah, we could do that.
I mean, I was a little bit surprised about Trae Young.
The Knicks pick kind of shocked me.
Well, not really. I mean, obviously they didn't pick... who was it again? The Denver... The guy that dropped. Porter?
Yeah, Michael Porter.
Michael Porter dropped, obviously, because of an injury. He dropped to the Nuggets at 14th. But, I mean, Knox is a safe pick for New York. But a little bit... I don't know. Obviously, Stephen A. Smith wasn't mad like he usually is about the Knicks drafting, so this could mean something good for the New York Knicks for once.
And a lot of people talked a lot of garbage about, Porzingis when they drafted him, so it's...
Oh, actually, it was funny. That same kid was at the draft, and he was booing the Knox pick.
Yeah, I mean...
So, that just shows you right there that... I don't even know his first name, but...
Kevin, I think it was. Kevin Knox.
Knox is going to be a superstar for the New York Knicks, and that kid is going to look stupid again. So.
Yeah, he was Kevin Knox, 6'9", small forward out of Kentucky.
All right.
So first overall to the Phoenix Suns goes DeAndre Ayton, kind of what was expected.
And Joel Embiid obviously says that he can't play defense. So
yeah, and so Marvin Bagley III from Duke, the 6'11" center, to the Sacramento Kings. Obviously, we're trying to replace Boogie.
Right.
And the crazy thing is, if I'm not mistaken, the Atlanta pick was traded to the Dallas Mavericks. So Dallas
Lucas
up 2.
And then the Hawks.
He was supposed to go first overall. Obviously, a lot of mock drafts were saying him going number 1.
Right. And the Hawks got, I think, Dallas's future first. So that's a good move for the Hawks.
And then the Memphis Grizzlies got Jaren Jackson Jr., 6'11" power forward out of Michigan State.
Obviously, the Hawks got Trae Young, which was Dallas, and then he was traded to the Hawks.
Mohamed Bamba, 7-foot center.
He could be the highest ceiling Texas, for a prospect.
And he's going to Orlando, so he's going to be able to learn from Biz over there. I know,
You're
right?
sure you really want to learn from
defensively and rebounding, maybe.
But that's it.
Wendell Carter Jr. went to the Chicago Bulls. 7. Colin Sexton went to the Cleveland Cavaliers, a point guard out of Alabama.
Yeah. Kevin Knox, obviously.
Mikal Bridges was traded. So that pick was traded to the Phoenix Suns, the 76ers pick there. 6'7" small forward out of Villanova. And there's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That pick was traded to the Los Angeles Clippers.
Unbelievable.
And Miles Bridges went 12th. So he went to the Hornets.
LiAngelo Ball obviously didn't get drafted. I would think that a team would maybe pick him up in the second round, give him a shot. But I think it's just the media hype surrounding him instead of the actual skill.
Right.
Right? So, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, the Lakers didn't pick him up, and they didn't even invite him to the Summer League. So
No,
it just
that
proves
tells
that
you-
they don't want.
that tells you
Smart
right there.
move, because with him,
It's just the name.
and I think it's more of like a media thing than anything. Like, if he doesn't have the skill to go in the second round, why pick him? Why? Because he has 2 point whatever million
Because his
followers
last
on
name
Instagram?
is Ball. That's why.
Change his last name and he'll be a no one. No
Correct.
one.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no question about that.
There you go. But
We have no questions this week. Or do we?
we do, because I
We do have
tweeted it
questions.
out.
Okay, we do have a couple questions.
Well, the first one I know off the Ryan Baruchi hype. That's by
Jacked up.
who
Jacked up.
is that all you got to say? You got to say anything more about Ryan Baruchi? Is it?
I mean, I'll be able to tell more after this game tonight, but I'm just really happy, man. I'm so excited to see this tomorrow.
Brooke.
Or tonight, sorry.
yeah, she's
Ryan Brookie
over-
hype? Oh, through the roof.
Right. Okay, Stephen W. What do you think of Dwayne Casey winning Coach of the Year?
I'm kind of shocked, to be honest with you. Yes, the Raptors put up their best regular season in the history of the
Brad
Raptors.
Stevens was there, obviously.
That's what I felt. I really believed that he should have won it. Not having Kyrie, not having Gordon Hayward, not having Gordon Hayward all year, and not having Kyrie for basically the second half of the year, still coming second and getting to the conference finals and forcing Game 7 against Cleveland. I think they should. I think there was no question he should have won that.
Brad Stevens of the Boston
Yes,
Celtics.
I'm a Raptor fan, but that's what I should have. That's what I believe should have
Because it is
happened.
playoff success as well. Boston obviously took Cleveland to Game 7. They
It's
lost.
Coach of the Year,
Not Coach of the regular season.
right? No, that's not. No, I don't believe that.
Michael, always good to hear from
Yeah,
him.
what's up?
Resign JVR or put a bunch of money on Tavares? Well, we are going to put a bunch of money on Tavares, but okay, let's just say that both players are willing to resign. Let's just say
Players willing to sign or resign, like
sign.
Yeah, okay.
Sign with the Leafs.
Okay.
Would you take Tavares at 11 mil for 8 years for the Leafs, or JVR at 7 mil for 7 years?
Tavares.
You have less cap room.
JVR for $7 million.
Well,
For $7 million. No.
6. JVR for 6 mil, 7 years 6 mil, or
No. 7 years for
Tavares.
JVR. He'll be what, 37 at that point? 36? No thanks.
okay, so you would pick John Tavares. I
Yeah.
mean, I think I would too, because I know John Tavares. Yes, the Leafs have defensive woes, but I think with John Tavares, man, that would put us over the top.
Yeah, he's a very good defensive center as well. He's a very good offensive guy, but he can play defense as well.
So
Very
that's
good
going to
player.
wrap it up.
That's
for
gonna wrap this
episode
puppy up.
18. Guys, we love you guys here. Follow James's main channel if you haven't. Follow my Twitter, the TO Sports Talk Twitter. Everything.
It's all down in the description, guys. Go check that out. If you guys are listening on iTunes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
And
much.
also the link is in the description for the iTunes link.
Follow up there, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and we'll be talking to you same time next week.
Same time next week,
Episode
Tuesday
19.
afternoon. Oh my goodness.
We're almost 20.
And it'll be NHL free agency. We might have an answer.
Or
Who
we
will-
might be disappointed and crying.
Well, we'll have an answer.
Right.
Who Javon Tavares will be with. That's very exciting. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm jacked up. I know you are. And we thank you guys so much for all your support every single week. And Evan and I... wait, what's going on? Did Pat's Ready deal happen?
Nearly. Oh.
Nearly. That's what you
at
saw
the
earlier.
draft.
That's one you saw earlier.
Oh, okay.
Wait, at the draft?
Yeah.
So it didn't actually happen.
No, it didn't happen.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we wasted all that time for nothing. Anyways, Evan and I will. Well, I'll talk to you guys. Screw it. Evan and I will talk to you guys next Tuesday, normal time, same place,
You'll
same
talk to
time.
them tonight,
and I'll talk
obviously.
to you guys tonight as we talk about Ryan Baruchi's
How about
first.
Leafs draft? Did you do that?
I haven't done that yet. I want to do that today.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I guess I'll talk to you guys Leafs edition and Jays edition today, as the Jays. They look for the series win against the Astros. Ryan Baruchi on the mound for his first MLB start. I'm jacked up to watch that. And Evan, like I said, Evan and I will talk to you guys next Tuesday. Same time, same place, episode 19.
Peace.